Hi everyone, this is Digital Charcuterie. I'm James Razile, and if you are looking forward to Indiana Jones 5 on July 10th, 2020, give us a subscribe, because we'll be covering it for the next 2 and a bit years. I love Indiana Jones, but who doesn't? Well, I guess some people don't. But the music, the score, you can't deny the score of it at all. But recently, Spielberg, Ready Player One, huge hit. Been making the press for that and talking, and one of the things that he said to the Sun has caught some wind, so I want to get into that. But the first thing I want to get into is he has also said that this will take place in 1960s. It will be Harrison Ford's last go as Indiana Jones, but he sees the franchise moving forward, which is in line with what Bob Iger said, I think it was years ago now, where he can envision Indiana Jones going beyond Harrison Ford. So the question is, what does that entail? Is that a good move on everyone's part? Obviously, Indiana Jones is a franchise character. You want the legacy of Indiana Jones to grow. It's an exciting character. It's a fun time. And when Spielberg was first pitched the idea from George Lucas, it was because Spielberg said that he wanted to make a James Bond movie, and George Lucas said, I got something better. Pitched him Raiders of the Lost Ark, and of course the rest is history. The question is, what do you do with Indiana Jones? Harrison Ford is so synonymous with the character that can you just replace Harrison Ford with another actor? I've had a few actors that I think could come in and fill that void. But who knows? I mean, because of what I just said, he's so synonymous with it. We're going to find out in this Han Solo movie if a younger actor can replace a younger Harrison Ford. We don't know. Time will tell. I mean, ultimately, it is the character, and it's not an actor. It is a character. And so you should be able to find another actor that can portray that role. The question is, can we as the viewer, as the audience, accept that? Can we believe in that other performance when it's not? I think over time, absolutely that could be the case. But right away, initially, it's going to be a tough one. And whoever the first one out of the gate is in a tough boat. The one after that, if they could do if they're like, oh, we'll do 2 movies with actor X, and then, in 10 years we'll grab somebody else. That third person is fine. Like they're like, because everyone will forget about everything, so they're fine. But for now, what's the best way to go? They don't seem to want to talk about that too much, except for Steven Spielberg confirming to the Sun that Indiana Jones 5 will be Harrison Ford's last one. Harrison Ford, by the time it comes out, will be, I think, 20 or over 20 years older than Sean Connery was in The Last Crusade. But Sean Connery, I think, is only 10 years older than Harrison Ford, which was awesome when they play father and son. So that's where that is on that. It's the 1960s. Here's my thing with the 1960s. And it goes back even to the Crystal Skull. There's something about Indiana Jones, and obviously with Harrison Ford's age, you can't do it, but it was like, when you go back in time, the more you come into technology, I think the less fun, the less fantastic it becomes, the story. Because part of the joy and the fun of Indiana Jones is how old it is and how there's no modern technology, and you're getting to watch the past, and it's this era that that I obviously, a lot of you, probably all of you, did not experience whatsoever. We get to see it through these other eyes, another world almost in a lot of ways, and it's not bogged down with cell phones and guns. Well, there's guns, but you know what I mean, like the futuristic guns. It's plotted in a time, in this timeless era, and that's one of the joys of it. In the 60s, is getting a little too close to comfort, I find. Like, you're almost up there. Somebody asked Steven Spielberg if Indiana Jones would be listening to the Beatles, and he joked, would he even know who the Beatles are? And I would hope not, in a lot of ways, because I like pop culture. I don't like Indiana Jones is pop culture. I don't like the idea of him absorbing his life within pop culture. It's selfish maybe, but that's just the way I feel. I kind of like him separate from my world in a lot of ways, and that's why I like the Nazi Germany stuff. You take it back and you live in that time frame, in that era, and you have these heroes and villains that don't exist today. Archaeologists don't do what they did back then. I mean, they didn't do it back then, but for me, I can accept that back then. Now it's a little bit less, it's underwhelming in a lot of ways. So that's where I stand in the 1960s. Now, Spielberg, talking to The Sun, when he said that it would be Harrison Ford's final go as Indiana Jones, he also said that the future will continue beyond him. Obviously, I mentioned that. Bob Iger said as much. And the Sun asked him what he thought of a female Indiana Jones. And Spielberg kind of laughed and said, well, we'll have to change the name to Indiana Jane, but there wouldn't be anything wrong with that, is what he said. I'm paraphrasing a bit. But that's what he said. Obviously, you wouldn't have to change Jones to Jane because Jones is a surname. But look, what he's saying is, obviously, look, this is something he has to say. He has to say yes. He can't say, oh, absolutely not, because then the press would have a field day with him. And, you know, I mean, it's Spielberg, so his career wouldn't be ruined, but people would look at him in a different light. So I think what he said was the right way to go. Do I think they should change Indiana Jones to a female? No. Here's the thing. Indiana Jones is a male character. Now, if they decide to go and be like, okay, we're going to continue the Indiana Jones franchise on, but it's not going to be about the character Indiana Jones, it's going to be about other archaeologists, so be it. It could be a female then. And then you can name her whatever you want. I just think Indiana Jones is the character, and it's a male character, and you don't just change a male character to a female character just because that's the hip thing to do right now. You create a new character who can be exactly like Indiana Jones. I have no problem with that. I'll watch it, you know. But I'm just saying it's not Indiana Jones. It's like if you got another actor to come in to play Indiana Jones, a male actor, but you called him something else. That's not Indiana Jones. It's the same type of thing. It's just Indiana Jones is the male. He could have a female counterpart, and if they want, they can introduce that female counterpart in this one. But for me, like I said, I would actually kind of like it if they're like, hey, you know what? While that Indiana Jones stuff was going on, there was a female version of that going on at the same time. Let's watch those stories. I'd be more on board with that than just being Indiana Jane or whatever, because it just seems like, first of all, it's lazy. It's lazy. And I don't care what anyone says. It's lazy. It's, oh, well, I can't really think of an original idea, so we'll just keep it. It's like I am a male, and if someone's playing me in a movie, it would have to be a male because that's just how it is. So that's how I feel about Indiana Jones. But like I said, I have no problem with a female-led Indiana Jones style movie in the same universe, in the same, you know, saga, whatever. Like the fifth one could be about a female Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones' sister, I don't care, like Ocean's 8, you know, Danny Ocean's sister. That's fine. I don't care. Do it. But I think just changing the gender of an established character is kind of, it's just lazy. That's all. I'm just going to go with it's lazy. Like I said, it's lazy. And it might, you know, maybe it's lazy to even just recast Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones with somebody else. But I mean, you want to go younger and tell those stories. You know, that's just how I am. I got to bring up the Ghostbusters reboot. I had no issues with the casting of the Ghostbusters reboot. I thought, and you know what? I didn't even mind the movie too much, to be completely honest. And there goes all of my viewers right now. I didn't mind the movie that much, to be honest. My problem really was that they decided to keep it in a separate universe, and disregard the two previous films, which makes sense in the 90s if you're doing it. But in this day and age, we live in an era of nostalgia. And not reboots, but reboots. And that's what we want to see. We want to see those kind of grow and continue. So Indiana Jones, I think that would be the smart thing to do. Have Indiana Jones as a female in the same universe at the same time. Go turn the clocks all the way back to like Raiders of the Lost Ark time, and just have it take place then. And but then you're stuck with, what do you call it? And I said this before, just call it Raiders of whatever. And then if that character, that female character, sticks, whatever her name is, make sure you give her a cool name. But don't try too hard on the name. Just give her a cool name. And whenever that name sticks, then you can make the next one blah blah in the temple of blah blah or whatever. And you can keep going from there. But that's where I feel. What do you guys think? Do you think Indiana Jones should be a female? Do you think Indiana Jones should stick being a male? Are you looking forward to the 1960s version of Indiana Jones? Do you think they should have quit while they were ahead with The Last Crusade? Did you like the Crystal? So many questions. Just let me know what you think about Indiana Jones in the comments down below. I can't wait to keep talking about this until July 10th, 2020. Hopefully beyond that, maybe we'll get a female Indiana Jones in that movie. Who knows? We'll find out. Can't wait. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really means a lot to me. And until next time, ciao for now.